There is a creature so small you could fit 100 of them on the head of a pin. And yet, scientists believe it might be the single hardest thing to kill on planet Earth. It has survived being frozen to nearly absolute zero. It has survived being boiled alive. It has even survived the vacuum of outer space. This is the tardigrade. And its story isn't just strange. It might change how you think about survival itself. What it looks like. Tardigrades are often called water bears or moss piglets because under a microscope, they genuinely look like tiny, chubby bears with 8 stubby legs and claws. But don't let the cute nickname fool you. A tardigrade is a predator on its own microscopic scale. It has dagger-like mouthparts that pierce moss, algae, and even smaller organisms, sucking out their contents to survive. You would need a microscope to ever see one. Most are smaller than a single grain of salt. Here's where the story gets genuinely hard to believe. Tardigrades can survive temperatures as low as -458 degrees Fahrenheit, nearly the coldest temperature physically possible in the universe. And on the other extreme, they can survive being heated to over 300 degrees Fahrenheit, well past boiling point. They can survive pressure 6 times greater than the deepest trench in our oceans. They can survive radiation levels thousands of times higher than what would instantly kill a human being. And in 2007, scientists sent a group of tardigrades into low Earth orbit, exposing them directly to the vacuum of space. No protection, no oxygen, no atmosphere at all. When the samples returned, some of them were still alive. So how does something this small survive conditions that would destroy almost anything else on Earth? The answer is a process called cryptobiosis. When a tardigrade senses its environment becoming too extreme, too dry, too cold, too hostile, it pulls in its legs, expels almost all the water from inside its body, and curls into a small, dry ball called a tune. In this state, its metabolism drops to nearly zero. It isn't quite dead, but it isn't fully alive either. It's paused, waiting, sometimes for years, sometimes for decades, until conditions improve enough for it to rehydrate and simply continue living, as if no time had passed at all. Here's a detail that sounds like science fiction, but isn't. In 2019, an Israeli spacecraft called Bereshit crashed on the surface of the moon. On board, sealed inside a protective capsule, was a small sample of dehydrated tardigrades in their dormant tune state. Scientists still don't know for certain whether any of them survived the crash, but because of how tardigrades handled extreme conditions, some researchers believe it's genuinely possible that there are tardigrades sitting on the surface of the moon right now, still in their frozen, dormant state, waiting for water that will probably never come. But here's the twist that most people never expect. Despite surviving conditions that could destroy a planet, a tardigrade is incredibly fragile in ordinary, everyday life. Its body is soft and microscopic. A sudden physical impact, or drying out too quickly without properly entering the tune state, can kill it instantly. Its superpowers only activate under extreme, specific conditions. In normal daily life, floating in a drop of water on a piece of moss, it's just as vulnerable as almost anything else that small. So the toughest animal ever discovered isn't actually invincible. It just knows exactly when to shut down completely, wait out the danger, and come back the moment the world is safe again. Tardigrades have existed for over 500 million years. They've survived all 5 of Earth's mass extinction events, the same extinctions that wiped out the dinosaurs, and nearly every other complex form of life more than once. While countless species disappeared completely, this microscopic, almost invisible creature simply paused, waited, and continued on, generation after generation. Maybe that's the real lesson hiding inside something this small. Survival was never really about being the biggest or the strongest or the fastest. Sometimes, it's simply about knowing how to endure. If this made you look at the smallest things differently, hit subscribe. Next week, we look at an animal that gives birth through its own back.